What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rewind. We are your hosts. My name's Kyle.
And I am Mr. 8984, Mr. Mute RN, hashtag get at me.
There we go. I finally let you have one.
Fucker always trying to catch me up. I never know if you're going to introduce me or not.
No, I'm going to let you introduce yourself going forward. And that's a shoot.
I like it better when you just surprise me. I feel like that adds a little flavor to the show.
Oh, man. You guys, we're from Smacked Raw. This is the Rewind, if you're not aware. We run down this week in wrestling. This week we're covering Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, NXT, Rampage. We know that RN, you said you saw, I think, Ring of Honor and Impact.
Yes. Seen Impact. Ring of Honor, I'm not up to date with it. I missed this week's because I was catching up, but
okay.
Didn't see Impact.
All right. So yeah, we'll go over some of this stuff, and if you guys watched Impact, I'm pretty sure RN, you've got some stuff from the show you can note. It's not meant to be a traditional recap show where we're going to run chronological order through all the shows. Not saying that might not happen from time to time, but we just try to give you the highlights, stuff that we like, stuff that we don't like. And if we failed to cover something, it's usually because it didn't elicit a strong enough reaction for us to have a fun conversation about. I don't like to run through the beats, especially because if we did, this would be a 4-hour show. And we trying to get out of here in 45 minutes, an hour tops. With that being said, Jesus Christ, man, my throat. With that being said, if you're on YouTube, hit that like button. It's actually really important. The more times you hit like, well, not you particularly, just hit it once. The more people that hit like, more likely it's going to get shared on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel, man. We're really close to 300. Yeah, 300 subscribers. And if you're watching us live here on Twitch, give us a follow. We're trying to get to that first 100. Just a little honest mom and pops wrestling show here. Just trying to get by. So help us out. It's greatly appreciated. And before we kick it off, let's talk about a couple off the wall shit, that's happened this week. Because not only was there a lot of stuff that happened in the wrestling shows, but just in the wrestling atmosphere of everything. Turns out everyone's raping everyone, or at least they used to back in the 90s. For fuck's sake.
It definitely. It was. The thing too, I guess the main thing is like we already knew 90% of this shit from. If we don't know what we're talking about I always forget what it's called, wrestling.
Dark Side of the Ring. They covered the plane ride from hell.
Which we knew a lot of this shit, like, but now everybody's so ready to fucking cancel everybody. Like, it's like throwing more fucking wood on an old fire. And really, Tommy Dreamer did it to himself.
I've never seen a man so quick to hang themselves on camera, man. Oh right, my God.
That was my thing, is like, bro, like if this was filmed like 2 years ago, maybe even a year and a half, I might have been able to give him a pass for it, but this shit wasn't filmed that long ago. Like, he's been within the realm of this Me Too movement and people just not being able to defend people like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so like I said, that was my only thing. I don't necessarily condemn him, but I condemn his stupidity for what saying at a time like that.
Yeah. So the major controversy that came out of this episode. Now, I haven't watched it yet. I'm kind of just regurgitating what I've seen on Twitter, and then I've watched Steven Larson from Going In Raw. They actually recapped it. So I got to see it through it. So the big things here is Ric Flair forcing himself onto a flight attendant while naked and making her touch like his genitals. And hearing it from her point of view, so we knew Chris or Rick had done this shit before, but now we get to hear it from the victim side, and it added a whole new weight to the situation. And it was really fucked up. Absolutely fucked up. There's no way about that. Tommy Dreamer, God, I'm not laughing at what Tommy said.
No, we're laughing at that he said it.
That
When
oh
he
my
said it.
God, with confidence, he outright
Looks
essentially
right in the camera. He didn't have a pause.
She
At
took
least
the money.
JR, like even with JR, when they were, because I watched the whole thing and they were on JR's ass, like, well, why the fuck didn't y'all do anything to Ric Flair? And JR was just like, he had weight, and beyond that was on me. I didn't make the call, and I should have.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? At least JR like paused to like stop and think about shit. Dreamer just went on like, nope, he didn't mean to do it. If he did, sorry she got it. Like, bro,
so she
like,
was sorry that she just happened to be offended. And then went on to say, you know, she took essentially the hush money, took the settlement money. And why didn't she go to the police? Just a whole lot of like victim blaming and defending Ric Flair. And is there anyone more tone deaf than like a white man in his 50s?
Never.
I'm
like,
telling you.
Like what?
Yeah. So it was really bad. At the end of the day, I don't think Tommy Dreamer's a shitty person, but that was a fucking shitty thing to say.
Super shitty.
Yeah, he came out
on camera at this time. Like, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to come off like I'm not going as hard on him as like some of them, especially some of the people in our chat have gone, and like people that we care about and that are around us.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to feel like I'm walking the line, but like
emotions range. Emotions on this subject range from people outright disgusted and enraged to the polar opposite of, oh, boys will be boys, and writing it off like it's no big deal.
The comments on his apology thing, I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, they range
trash. But my thing is like, I'm not even trying to condemn him on how he feels, because a lot of people feel that way when these types of things come out, and we victim blame and all that shit. People do this. My thing is what I'm giving him shit about, and I know that seems even shittier than I'm saying, is that he was that fucking dumb to say the things out loud and then double down on it when the interviewers asked him about it.
Dug in, yeah.
That was the part that I think fucking like nail in the coffin for him was they asked him.
He had a chance to like reflect on what he had just said.
Right. And then he doubled down on it. That's the part I'm like, you fucking moron. Like,
did you yeah, no, it was real fucking dumb. And he did apologize today. And my thing is, speaking as humans, I think, and I'm not defending Tommy Dreamer. My opinion of him has gone way down. But once again, like I said, I feel like this is an action that I'm hoping he's not a complete dumbass and he can learn from, apologize, make amends to those people that he hurt, and grow as a human. My thing is like, before people are so quick to write a person off as a human being, I think it's important that we all remember that we have, at least at some point in our lives, all said something really fucked up, or at least thought it. You know, that maybe if it had made it out to the public, isn't an accurate representation of who we are as a person, because at some point we've all had toxicity in our life, and hopefully we understand that as humans we can make mistakes and we can also grow from them. Hopefully that's Tommy Dreamer's case and he doesn't turn out to be just like a shitbag.
And I think that's what a lot of people, I think that's why I hit people weird, because we do all know and love Tommy Dreamer, like all the stories about how he's helped wrestlers, how he's helped people. And
I don't know if that man's ever had bad press before.
That's what I'm saying. And then for something like this, for something that so many people love and care about and respect and look up to, and who's been a good guy in the industry full of fucked up people that done fucked up things, especially in that era. Tommy Dreamer was one of the ones that wasn't like them. And then to say these things, like he put his foot in his fucking mouth. I mean, there's no other way to.
Who was it on that documentary said, just don't meet your heroes? Yeah. RVD, I think, said it, or someone.
Yeah, like, fuck.
Did you see that Shoot interview? I forget the guy. He's really famous for getting like the darker side of Shoot interviews with pro wrestlers. I don't know who he is, but I saw a clip.
I know you're talking about. He did like Kevin Nash and Scott Steiner and all them. And
he'll ask pro wrestlers if like, you know, who's a dick behind the scenes and shit like that. Really get the dirt.
Yeah.
He did an interview with Bruce the Barber Beefcake. This shocked the fuck out of me. And this ain't even new. I don't think this is new. This is just the first time I've seen it.
Right.
Bruce Beefcake is laughing about how, and walking through moment for moment, how Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty would drug women, rape them, and then throw their naked bodies, excuse me, into the hallway.
Yeah.
And the whole time he's laughing like, this is some of the funniest shit. We were wild back in the day. Dude, I was fucking horrified.
Bro.
I was like, God damn.
I think it's too, like, some of the shit that they were doing to each other and shit, like, I'm sorry. That's some white people shit for the most part. Like, bro, don't fucking put no fucking shit on me and cut my hair. You got to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of that shit too, like that, the bullying and shit. And then they were K-bombing each other.
Dude,
that was the thing that fucking killed me. Like, I get, like, we know they did it to like women and shit and drug people, like, but they were doing it to each other as a fucking rib. That's not a rib.
Yeah,
like,
man.
There's nothing funny about that. I would have already got fired and got fucked up because you do any of that shit to me, bro. We got a fucking issue.
The last story I saw today, because oh boy, a lot of the stuff was coming out today.
Right.
And then we'll get into covering the shows. I think it was a quote from Eric Bischoff walking into WCW, and he caught the Steiner brothers had duct taped a referee completely naked and like had shoved a pencil in his ass. And even Eric Bischoff's quote wasn't coming from it like a mortified standpoint. It was just like, well, I better not piss off the Steiner brothers, you know, and then just went on about his day, man. Yeah, the culture back then was it's so bizarre to be a fly on the wall back in those days and just, you know, because the one reoccurring thing that I think we heard between Dark Side of the Ring and a lot of these other people is the advice for the victims and the people that really had a problem. I mean, Rene Dupree did a trip in Italy, and they took his in France or Italy, and I guess Undertaker or someone ordered his flag to be shoved in a toilet and everyone pissed and shit on it because he didn't go drinking with them.
Right.
And the orders that all these victims and people were given is just no sell it. That's what you did. Just don't show that it's getting under your skin. Don't escalate it. Just fucking ignore it, and like a swarm, it'll just pass you, you know. And it's just like, God, dude, if that's just it's astonishing to think about. It's really mind-boggling. That was the atmosphere for a lot of people back then.
Yeah, eat shit or quit. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out, man.
They would have beat me up every show. I would have been fucked up because I couldn't do it. Like, I could not say anything. I would literally have walked into the Undertaker's locker room and shoved my balls in his face. Real talk.
Who'd they have out there fucking you up? They'd put you in squash matches against, oh shit, APA. I'd
fucking take it. I'd literally lay on the ground and tell them to suck it after every fucking beatdown.
Bob Holly would be out there chopping the piss out of you. Oh,
I would literally take a shit in all their bags. Like, they wouldn't want to fuck with me with no shit like that, bro. I would literally, the most disgusting things I could think of, I would do. And I'd hit up all their moms and try and take them out on dates.
All right, man. Let's get into this week in wrestling. Kicking off Monday Night Raw, Big E. Before the show, how'd you feel about this? Big E telegraphing his cash in tonight or Monday?
Oh, we talked about it on the last rewind because we filmed it like right before Raw started. It was fucking stupid.
Yeah. It was. I mean, we're in agreement. We're elated. Big E's champ.
Right. We've been talking about him being the champ since last year.
Yeah.
We were just doing it on SmackDown.
Yeah, we're definitely not going to quit now just because we didn't cash in the way we wanted to. But let's be honest, it could have been better. But the end result, Big E's running around champion right now.
Right.
I don't care. It doesn't affect me what the fuck Raw's ratings are and everything. You know, we have the end result is Big E's champ, so that's awesome. Bama's in the chat. Hey, buddy, what's up? Don't worry about being late, Bama. It's all good. You missed some fun stuff. You'll go back and watch that opening 10 minutes. That was good. Yeah, Big E's champ. Bobby Lashley and Randy Orton, they elevated their match that was intended for Extreme Rules to the main event of Raw. Big E came in, cashed in, had a nice, cool little near fall where he ate a spear but kicked out. That was good. Keep us on the edge of our seats. But yeah, he ended up winning, man.
The only complaint I have is like what I always have with WWE, and I bitch about it on every show I've ever fucking recapped with you, is the faces do heel shit. Like that cash in was even a shitty fucking thing to do. Like after he just went through that brutal fucking match, and the good guy comes and tries to pick up
his knee too. The injury, yeah.
Yeah, I don't get like where that's how you know that Vince and all these guys are really just probably bad people in real life, bro. Because their definition of what good guys should do makes no fucking sense in the real world.
Yeah, so you think Vince and the creative, they're all bad people, but they think they're good in their own eyes. So they're like, what would we do? Oh, that's right.
Like Captain America wouldn't fucking chop off the Red Skull's head after he's already beat the shit out of him.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like no, that's not what heroes do.
Once again, to anybody else that's joining the stream, I do apologize about my horrendous voice. I hope it's not as bad in your headphones as it is in mine. Otherwise, I really do feel bad.
No, it's worse to you than what it actually is coming across.
Okay, that's good to hear. You have this whole Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax week feud continues. Shayna lost a match to Charlotte Flair due to a Nia Jax distraction. These two are they're a tag team that are actively trying to make each other lose. But we're not getting any new angles. It's just been the same thing for like 3 weeks. They're intentionally costing each other matches, and nothing is elevating. Like I will say this: there was a lot of times, several moments, I think, between Raw and SmackDown where this happened. Most notably, you didn't see SmackDown, but Dominic Mysterio lost another match.
Yeah. While
Ray was out there. You should have seen the implosion. Even normal WWE writing, the implosion should have happened by now. Like at the culmination of the end of the match, it should have happened by now. It's so weird that it's just like essentially they're costing each other the matches multiple times, and each time they just say, "What the hell, man," and then go on the rest of the week.
Yeah, like they're still attacking. Like that's the part that I don't get. Like,
there's no
I'm
more.
Okay with this.
It's not.
I'm okay with
the
this if you're breaking them up.
Isn't elevating. They've just got to this point, like, and it's not going anywhere.
I keep forgetting that they're even a tag team sometimes, and then literally, like you said, they cost each other and shit. Then later on the night, they'll fucking fight for the titles or something, or like have a tag team match, and everything's fine. It's like, what?
Yeah, he says there's. Bama says they're slow burning till the draft. There's slow burning, and then there's ignoring logical storytelling.
Right.
You know. After the match, Alexa Bliss came out, offered Charlotte Flair a gift. I thought it was a fireball because normally it's fire. It wasn't. It was Charlie doll for Charlotte. Apparently, these dolls are selling like crazy, RN.
I wouldn't doubt that.
I know I'm getting older because like this is one of my first big misses. Like I saw that doll and I was like, no one's gonna buy that. You know, and I got egg on my face because apparently
we said that about that fucking
merchandise sellers.
We said that about that Fiend belt too, and people actually bought that fucking thing for like $300.
Well, the Fiend belt's different. The Fiend belt is like a collection item, so you knew there was gonna be those crazy fucking people that just is a collection item. This Lily doll is like no different than like your fucking T-shirt. You know what I mean? It's not gonna have resale value.
No, but
down the road.
For what it's for is the kids. Like,
yeah. Dude, I really missed the mark on that one. But yeah, apparently it's so popular enough they got Charlotte with one. Honestly, looking over the rest of the stuff, I don't think anything crazy like it was really worth going into. I mean, Drew and the Viking Raiders took on Jinder Mahal and his cronies. Nikki Ash beat Tamina. Rhea Ripley defeated Natalya. Almost in Styles with Mace ended up, or no, excuse me, Almost AJ Styles, Mace, and T-Bar defeated Ali, Mansoor, and the New Day, and Doudrop beat Eva Marie. Like it was really all built around, I think, Big E. I will say this, Damian Priest, I think is elevating. I think if anybody is growing consistently, I think Damian Priest is getting good. What do you think?
And he's getting consistently better on the mic every single time. Mm-hmm. And it's subtle shit and little things that you probably don't think about or pay attention to, but like there's no he knows when to pause. He knows when to let the crowd fucking like soak shit up what he's saying. He recognizes and feels when moments are happening and shit. Like, and that's not an easy thing to do. Like most of the time too, especially with the younger guys coming up from NXT who never really talked, they kind of just blur through shit. They don't ever let shit marinate, especially when you're on Raw because Raw's so shitty. But no, I think I don't really like his fucking like gear and the hair and shit and everything like that. Like it's not really my cup of tea.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Because his look and his character feel like two different things.
Right. Like he's cool as shit, and then his hair and his look is just like
it's
weird,
like almost like a Western take on like an anime character.
Right, literally. You know what I'm saying?
It's almost that.
But his moves are fucking dope. He's big like they like. He's fucking good looking, you know what I'm saying? And now he's getting better on the mic. So hopefully he really does. They do elevate him more. And he's got the secondary title, so that's always a good thing, even though it's shit and they never fucking defend it. But
the U.S. title, they really pick and choose who it works well for. Because the U.S. title, flip a coin. Whoever's got it, they're making it work, or it doesn't matter.
Right.
You know?
Or you forget who has it. Like, who had it before Riddle had it?
No, he won it. Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But it wasn't doing anything for Lashley. Yeah. You're right.
And he never fucking defended. He walked around with it. He introduced the new one, didn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, he did. He introduced the new one. Yeah.
I remember, because the graphics were kind of blurred and it looked like there was like a giant dick in it.
Right.
It was just poor camera work. I'll say one thing though. Oh man, a big misstep from Raw for me personally was the Damian Priest Jeff Hardy match. If you're gonna do an open challenge, you don't know who the challenger is until their music hits. Right. It makes no sense to do an open challenge for it to be answered on Twitter. Right. You know, it defeats the way open challenges work in pro wrestling. That's the excitement, is the mystery. Otherwise, it's like any other announced match.
We already talked about it with them. They don't know how to keep a fucking surprise. So how are they going to keep a surprise for an open championship match?
Yeah, I don't know.
Bama My biggest hit was I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Bama says, Priest said he's wearing more color to pay some honor to his Puerto Rican heritage. Yeah, I wouldn't know.
No, I get that. Like, it's on his tights and shit and everything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the fucking Predator dreads and the like metallic, you know what I'm saying, Kiss pants and shit. Like, I see what he's doing. Like, trust me.
It looks like he's ready to go jam out at some like goth rave.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
throw a gas mask on and some glow sticks. Yeah.
Right. And then he comes out dressed like The Rock when he's backstage and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it doesn't. They don't really mesh well on both inside and out. But yeah. No, my biggest miss was definitely fucking Natty and Tamina. And fucking, we don't just dominate the tag division. We dominate eras. Like, no, neither one of y'all have ever dominated an era in women's wrestling. Like,
oh God, no. Yeah, maybe your bloodline has. You know, but not you directly. No, man. I love that Natalia rant you did. Oh man, it's such a favorite of mine. If you guys are watching on YouTube or even on the live stream, head over to our YouTube channel. When you get like a free 2.5 minutes and listen to RN's debut rant about Natalia. It's so good.
I was expecting more female backlash, honestly, but
I think it was so. We wore what it was so well on the sleeve that they just didn't bother to watch. Like I sent it to one of our friends from up north, Vanessa, excuse me, from Putting You Over. She refused to even watch it. She was like, I'm not gonna give it the time of day. Like she wouldn't even watch it, man. But you made some very good points. You made some good points.
Like I said, it wasn't like I think people were expecting it to be like normal fucking dickhead wrestling people, like shitting on women about like how they look and all that. Like, no, I kept it strict. I kept it kayfabe as fuck. Like
you said what'd you say? You said, you're like, can you talk? No. Can you do the sharpshooter? No. Can your face move? No.
That was I did one dig. All right, I forgot about that. But other than that, I kept it strictly in the ring and out. You know what I'm saying? Like it was strictly kayfabe. My distaste for her.
Oh man. Let's go ahead and let's go on to NXT, man. This is your bread and butter. I watched it. I held up my end of the deal. I watched it. I enjoyed it. What was your take, man? You're the resident NXT guy.
It was so fucking. I was so like conflicted on this, like because I'll tell you first off, the graphics and everything in the new set, I don't like any of it. It looks like it just didn't come across for me, and I kind of think that
it looks like it's not finished.
Yeah, it looks like they don't know what they're doing with it yet. So I wanted to shit on it, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it time because it is new. Second thing, it's them saying you know how WWE kills fucking hashtags and plot points. Saying NXT 2.0, every wrestler saying it, every commentator saying it, like that shit was like
they have
nails
to get the
on
brand
the
over, man. It's all about the
nails
brand.
on the chalkboard to me. Like just stop. Like we get it. It's new NXT.
Dude, it's really like NXT like 4.0. You know,
literally,
I mean, it's
literally like it's not 2.0 at all. And then, like I said, some of the decisions, like out the gate, like LA Knight losing to the Steiner kid.
I was like, about that.
I wasn't. If he hadn't have been in, the only reason I'm saying this is because you've been propping him up all the last 2 weeks, and he was in your main event later that night. Like I think that was the biggest issue I had with it. Like, why the fuck? And if you were gonna do it, then that should have been for his spot.
Yeah, no, that was my gripe. The match in a vacuum. I liked the match. I liked what they did. How they completely ignored it
right
later on that night. That I did not like.
It made no sense. Like I said, and if you're already going to throw the other kid in for saving Kyle O'Reilly, like I wouldn't have been mad at that. If you had been like, well, you're talking all this shit, you think you can beat me, put your fucking spot up in the NXT 2.0. Let's get some new people in it. That wouldn't have bothered me if they had did it that way. But you just had a match with this dude for no fucking reason at all.
What do you think?
And you got a title match.
What do you think of his name, Braun Breaker?
Stupid as fuck, and you could tell Vince and them's back on their old bullshit.
Yeah,
and we're back to
straight out of that the early '90s, like New Generation.
Right.
That's the stink it feels for me, man.
Like who really like it's
2Ks,
like
man. He's got 2Ks in there.
Like they literally like do those. Remember those things like back in the day where you can put a spin on something and it would just shoot you out a name or some shit like
pretty much just like a generator.
Yeah, like get the fuck out of here, man. Braun
like
Breaker.
Hillsborough,
why not use his real name?
Hillsborough, like toy level. Right. I remember there was what was this toy? It was like the insult generator, and it would be like you're a slimy, wheezy, overrated nerd. Like it feels like that level of.
Believe it or not, that's how Childish Gambino got his name. He used one of those fucking generator names. It was like a Wu-Tang name generator or some shit he did. And that's how he came up with his rap name, Childish Gambino.
Fucking educating me, man. That's awesome.
Other than that, I mean, the main event wasn't terrible. I mean,
do you mean the segment or the four-way match?
The four-way match.
Yeah, I liked it, man. I liked it a lot.
I just wish we knew more about dude. Like I didn't want to hate on Franz Wagner from D2 Mighty Ducks, but I wish we knew more about the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like that was my biggest gripe about the new people.
Yeah.
Like Josh Briggs is actually dope. I like him. I watched him a lot in Evolve. No idea who his partner was. I tried looking up shit, but I couldn't figure out who the guy was. But like none of these people they ever gave us anything on beforehand. They just threw them at us, which that part to me was the part that I couldn't really swallow. Like, why should I give a fuck about these dudes and why are they on my TV screen against stars of this company this soon right now? Like that was my main gripe with the whole 2.0 thing.
I agree with everything you said. I would have given it a pass had they just went all in on Braun Breaker.
Yep.
He beat LA Knight, took his spot in the Fatal 4-Way, and won the whole damn thing. Because here's the thing. You advertise 2.0. Everything's new, right? Mandy Rose comes back. She's a brunette. She's new, apparently.
Right.
Although she was acting with a much higher level of intensity than we've seen before.
Yeah. And that was her first official match there, too, I'm pretty sure.
I think so, yeah. Ridge Holland, although he's not new, but he's newer because he took so much time off for that injury. He ran through Drake Maverick. I know Matt Ritter loves that Drake Maverick is playing both NXT and Raw.
Right.
And you're introducing this Tony D'Angelo, which we're going to get into. New character. But then you go ahead and you put the belt on, which I love Tommaso Ciampa. No issues there.
Right.
You put it on a guy so closely affiliated with
everything you're supposed to be getting away from.
Everything black and yellow. And it's not like you don't have plans for Braun to be in that picture, because we saw after he won, Braun was the first person staring him down. In my eyes, it could have had a Brock Lesnar light effect of just like, who is this force that seemingly came out of nowhere and just steamrolled everything I thought I knew about NXT.
Which, don't get me wrong, I would have hated that, but I would have been able to swallow that more because he's got the lineage. He looks fucking good. He looks like a Steiner. He looks like a Steiner.
Yeah.
He was fucking strong as hell, and he's what you want this to be. So, like, I would have been able to swallow that better if that had been the case, where he beat LA Knight to get into the fucking thing, and he just ran through everybody.
Yeah.
I could have accepted that.
But no, I mean, they pumped the brakes a little bit, and then it's Tony D'Angelo, man. For what? I have no fucking clue who this guy is. But apparently he's an Italian stereotype from Chicago, who's obviously a play off of like the New York Mafia. His family's in waste management.
I literally was sitting there looking at the screen like.
But here's the thing, RN, it can't be racist if they're white. You know what I mean?
Right. Which to me, I mean, it's not even just the racist part. It's like, bro, we're so far past it. Like, who? That's how you know.
Dude, somebody called the FBI, man. The full-blooded Italians.
Like, Jesus Christ. Like, what are we doing? Like, so, okay, you don't want to do the independent, the small guys. All right. So you bring in your guys. Cool. But you bring them in to fucking who's next? We're going to get some more fucking garbage men and plumbers and shit. Like, what the fuck? Bro, like, I was like, are you kidding me? We're doing a mob gimmick
again
in 2021.
In 2021, yeah, we're doing like a 90s Goodfellas mob gimmick probably. They'll drop it after 2 weeks. They'll probably fucking drop it. Forget all about it.
Jesus. Like, I just, like, I can't. NXT was the main reason why I hung on to WWE.
Yeah.
Because they had all my guys from the independents, and those guys were moving up. Those guys are all still main event players. And, like, I'm thinking, like, we'll get a new crop. Adam Cole, all these. Like, and they just continuously shit on it and fuck it up. The only good thing, the only gem that they had that people gave a shit about and gave them credit for, and they completely fucking destroyed it and took it apart brick by brick.
So that brings me to my overall arcing question. And I this is not coming from me. I was watching a lot of YouTube content, and this one resonated with me, is who is NXT 2.0 for?
Right.
We had NXT 1.0, and at one point it was considered the one show of the week where you could watch consistently the best professional wrestling on any major weekly show.
Right.
You could argue now that AEW is probably taking that spot.
No, there's no argument there.
Yeah.
I'm not the AEW guy, and I'm gonna tell you, there's no argument there.
But so if it's not going to be that, because I mean, and now this is going based off of episode 1. you know,
Right.
because off of episode 1, I don't think any matches went past like 10 minutes.
No.
Maybe the Fatal 4-Way, but yeah, it was all shtick. And don't let me forget, we got to talk about the wedding. That was the only thing we didn't cover. But but then, actually it kind of ties into the wedding, and a lot of the other stuff that we received that we just got done talking about is it feels like WWE light. It's just a light version of what you get on the main roster, but with a bunch of people you're not familiar with and that are not, at the top of their game. They're honing their crafts. This is their, because at the third identity crisis it's the developmental,
Right.
And so you have your NXT core audience, which given any week is probably, how many viewers would you say? Like sub 600,000?
I'd say about 600,000, probably.
Yeah.
600,000 to 700,000.
You got them who are probably going to stick by, but what audience are you going to attract? Are you going to attract for the best professional wrestling going by episode 1? No. Are you going to come by because of a whole bunch of name value of people that you know? No. And then are you going to come by for the the WWE shtick? Probably not, because if you do like that stuff, you're already watching Raw or SmackDown.
Right.
So I feel like accidentally this change may have just created one of the biggest identity crises that NXT has had since.
It wasn't
inception.
accidentally. That's exactly why they did it. But they just didn't have, I don't think they have an adequate plan in place to replace what they were tearing down.
Yeah. Bama says WWE diehards that want to see the next superstars. That's your 500,000 or your 600,000 crowd right there.
They're going to stay there. Yeah.
That's them. What I'm wondering is what is going to bring the new fans. And like I said, it's still early. This is episode 1.
Right. Well, my thing is too is like, do they really think that this shit that they're dragging out would have beat AEW? That's the part in my mind that I can't get behind, is that you really think that if you bring out these dudes, especially this is your first episode 2.0, you're changing everything. And the dudes you brought out, you think that those dudes would have been able to beat AEW if they were on your show? Like, because I couldn't remember. I honestly can't remember what Braun looks like. I couldn't tell you what the Franz Wagner or whatever the fuck. I couldn't tell you what he looks like. I know Josh Briggs. That's because I love Evolve so much. Couldn't tell you what his other partners like. I can't remember anything about those guys except for they were trash on NXT.
Yeah, and timing, I think timing's poor because you're coming hot off the heels of all of these big shows. The second episode of Rampage, All Out, all of these big things that have taken place where people got excited for a big event and it paid off huge for them. And then NXT's like, we'll roll out our big event. And like I said, I was entertained, but nothing was like, man, you guys shook up the landscape.
Right.
And
they should have let Braun win it.
Like should have let Braun Breaker win. That would have been your shake-up moment right there. But instead, you towed the line. At the same time, you didn't really give us anything to write home about. Now, it sounds like we're being harsh. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm speaking of who are they going to drag in? With that.
What fans are you going to attract to this? Because I don't see it happening. I just don't.
Anyways, that wedding was pretty fun, though.
Yeah, that's the best part. But again, these are all things that they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Dexter Lumis cracked me up. We finally so clarify this for me because you watch NXT way more than I do. Was that the first time Dexter Lumis has spoke on NXT?
Yes, that I can remember. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. He spoke his first words. I do. I'm not gonna walk you through the segment. Just everybody killed it.
The best part when he showed the axe when they asked
who objects,
and everybody was about to raise their hand, and he opened up his tuxedo, and there was a hatchet in that motherfucker. Like, don't play with me.
Oh man. That's fantastic. Yeah, like I said, I'm excited to watch next week. I don't want to shit on it. I just want a wow factor. I want to figure out where that wow factor is from NXT. You know,
and from what we've seen, there is no wow factor.
not yet. So you didn't watch SmackDown. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna kind of breeze through the rest of this shit because nothing crazy to write home about.
Right.
SmackDown, for one, had a really odd opener. Roman Reigns was out there addressing the crowd and was interrupted by Big E. And this is where it got weird. Big E comes out, doesn't even get to say a word, doesn't get to address Roman, doesn't get to cut a promo. He comes out, goes around the ring. I will say this, I think I threw it in our group chat. If you go back and watch that clip when Big E is dancing on the table, the camera cuts Roman into frame, I think by mistake, and Roman's cracking up, laughing so hard.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, he definitely broke character. But anyways, Big E comes out, doesn't get to say anything before he's interrupted by Finn Balor, who Balor comes out. We cut to commercial, and it's just a fucking tag match. Big E and Finn Balor against the Usos. Yeah, it was, dude. It was
WWE.
Yeah, man. Rick Boogs continues his undefeated streak, beats Robert Roode. Afterwards, Commander Aziz and Apollo, they run over and beat up both of them. Him and Nakamura. Cruz demands a rematch for the IC title. I didn't realize this till Sean Ross Sapp said it. Cruz is 0-7 in singles and tag matches against Nakamura since July. Why the hell does this dude get an IC title match? You've lost 7 times in a row against the champ.
I had high hopes for Apollo. This all of this, like, elevating him, and it's just like he's right where he was. Like,
yeah, man, just with a different accent.
Just with a different accent, and he's got a heater with him who's really not heating up shit. So,
no, God, no. Almost has surpassed Aziz as far as like the giant heater in a tag team. Yeah, it's bad. Probably the biggest thing I think most people are excited about is Seth Rollins cut a hell of a promo in the ring, essentially explaining, you know, that he put down Edge. Edge is he explained that when he hit him with the stomp, he felt like a crack or a pop in the neck. Really writing this injury angle off for a while. But he does say that when Edge comes back, he wants one more match with him, a rubber match, and he wants to finish Edge, finish the job. That was pretty dope. Low light was, so they finally get a women's match on SmackDown. I think the first one in 3 weeks. And it's Liv Morgan and Toni Storm. Yes, fucking awesome. Finally, they're taking on Carmella and Zelina Vega. Awesome, more time. This match got maybe 2 minutes. Carmella's thrown face first into the turnbuckle, right? Starts complaining her nose is broken. Walks off. Her and Vega take the count out loss. And that was it. Toni Storm, nobody got a chance to shine. They go back. As they're retreating, Liv Morgan challenges Carmella to a match at Extreme Rules. Still nothing with stipulation. We're a week away from Extreme Rules. We don't have any matches booked with stipulations. Then, in the height of this, because Carmella's so worried about her face, we get backstage. She's fine. She reveals her nose is fine. And they're like, oh, thank God. Okay, I'm going to take that match. Fucking SmackDown. Come on, man. Jesus. It's the first time we've seen Toni Storm in months. And you fucking throw her in a throwaway angle to set up like Liv in a match at fucking Extreme Rules.
I just don't understand who okays this shit? Like, who really thinks that this is shit we want to see? Like, and it's really these fucking low-life fucking dense shills that fucking just show up for everything no matter what and accept it all. Like, bro, like, this shit is not even like, what kids would even be down with any of this shit? Like,
I don't know, man.
I honestly think we shouldn't even have to fucking cover Raw or SmackDown. Like, what the fuck? We should
Look,
cover.
I've definitely tossed it around, just us doing NXT and AEW. I've really tossed it
Right.
around.
Fuck.
Uh, I mentioned earlier, Sami Zayn, he beat Dominic Mysterio for the third week in a row. Instead of Rey Mysterio causing a distraction this time, instead Rey just sat at commentary table and didn't cause a distraction, and Dominic lost. Once again, a story that should be elevating right here on screen leaves as flat as it's been for 3 weeks. We got nothing.
They should and the main thing I hate about this is like they should have been breaking them up leading into this, and then them had a fucking knockdown drag out at Extreme Rules.
Yeah. Bama says this proves the same booking team does Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, it feels it. I ain't gonna lie. It's soon to be NXT.
It's soon to be NXT.
All right, and then here's the big angle, the big one, because we're in Nashville, right? Kane returned, man. You miss Kane.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Anyways, Kane comes out because he's obviously mayor of Knoxville County.
Yeah.
Comes out, gives a nice introduction for Bianca Belair. They come out, balloons everywhere. He presents her with the key to the city, which I thought was really, really nice. During this whole celebration, you know it by this point. Any long-term WWE fan knows you don't stand tall in your hometown.
Never.
No. They go a step beyond that. They make Bianca Belair look like a fucking idiot. So, Becky Lynch comes out, right? Looking like all the Spice Girls combined. And she comes out and she explains to Bianca, this is your moment. I'm out here to shake your hand. It's kind of shady delivery, but it's an honest statement. Bianca shakes her hand. Then Bianca is the one who refuses to let go. At this point, you could have released. She refuses to let go. She goes to hit the KOD. Becky Lynch defends herself, hits the man slam, walks off. So Becky Lynch, they could have gone with Becky Lynch spoiling the party and coming out to jump Bianca, get the cheap heat that way.
Right.
Instead, they go with Bianca attempting to attack Becky Lynch unprovoked and then gets dropped in front of her town.
Bro,
so we're beyond. You can't stand tall in your hometown. We have to make you look fucking stupid in front of your own people.
And not only that, we have to make you do a heel move in front of your own fucking people. It's bizarro world. They don't understand their own concept of heels and faces.
It's like, dude, it's like somebody tosses WWE a layup and they're the special kid that grabs the ball, kicks it across the court and just says field goal and walks off. And you're like, what the fuck was that about? Becky did not swing first. That's the thing, Bama. She didn't. He's in the chat saying she swung first. No. Bianca refused to let her hand go. At that point, Becky knew what was up. I'm sorry, man. You go shake someone's hand, try to let go and walk away, and then they still hold on to your hand. You feel like you're being attacked. I refuse to see it any other way. It's fucking dumb, man. It was really dumb. But yeah, that was SmackDown. And then you said you missed Rampage.
Yeah, you can pretty much guarantee most of the Fridays I'm not going to watch it.
Got you. No worries, man. No worries. Rampage, you didn't miss too much. However, I will say this: Rampage was booked the best since Rampage has been inception. That doesn't mean we topped the CM Punk moment. No. Is just, I think Rampage's issue till now is they give away the best moment to open the show, and then the rest of the show kind of falls flat, where this one kind of felt like it hit a certain point and then maintained it for the entire show. So
pacing better.
Yeah. He says, I thought you meant the actual aggression. My bad. So we kicked it off. Tag team championship match. Lucha Bros versus Butcher and the Blade. I don't have to tell you this was a good match. the Lucha Bros and Butcher and the Blade are fantastic tag teams. It was an awesome match. Had a cool spot at the end where Penta had his mask tied to a turnbuckle, and they were attacking Rey Fenix. And in a last-ditch effort, Penta removed his mask, covered his face with his hand, and then hit a super kick and helped Rey pick up the victory for his team. It was a really nice touch. Here we go. Anna Jay defeated the Bunny in a decent match. Afterwards, her and Ty Conti got laid out by brass knucks from Penelope Ford. And already, this very, very mid-card women's match leagues better than anything that happened on WWE.
By far. Yeah. And it has been. And Ty Conti, like, she's fucking raw. Like, they fucked up letting her go. Like,
oh, dude, tell me about it. She is a future champ.
And the thing about her is, too, like, you can see, compared to some of the other women, you can see she's TV trained.
Yeah.
She always is in the right spot. She's always looking at the right camera. She's always she always puts herself in the best position to where she looks good, even if she's getting her ass kicked. Like, you can and that's my biggest complaint about the AEW people compared to the WWE people coming in and why they look better. It's not so much that AEW is making them look better. They were trained to make themselves look better.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like, no, you're sensing the maturity now that we're getting more and more WWE influence, which is not a bad thing. It's not absolutely a bad thing. Because WWE has a lot of things that they do very, very good. They're the most polished, production-wise, wrestling company by a landslide.
And maybe in sports, honestly, like the combination of things that they do from in-ring action, the backstage stuff, the fucking video packages,
well-oiled machine.
Well-oiled machine. So like that.
Like, granted, just with the exception of the shaky cam and the 1,000 cuts,
right? You know. Which even that's them overthinking it, but
yeah. Matt Hardy beat up a fan who was dressed like Orange Cassidy and ended up shaving the guy's head. We're getting that hair versus hair match, which means we're going to get a bald Matt Hardy. Which means we might actually get a good broken Matt return in front of a live audience. That's the positive I'm taking away from this. I think this is going to be the shit that breaks Matt Hardy all over again, and maybe we'll get a cool new Matt Hardy character.
The thing about Matt Hardy, like, I want to hate him, and I want to just like shit on him like I do Jeff Hardy, but like he's so fucking good. Like,
he's smart, man.
He's
smart,
and
he smart man.
Continuously reinvents himself. He continuously makes himself relevant in a way that Jeff never can. Even though Jeff was the bigger star by far, I would never in a million years say that he wasn't. But Matt is still relevant in 2021 for a fucking reason. He's smarter and he knows what he's doing.
Did you see that that house show clip?
It was dude from Private Party came out.
Yeah, Marquez. I think Marquez Quen, I want to say, but he teased that Jeff Hardy was going to team with him on this like 80s show, and it was Quen.
That was dope.
Britt Baker and Ruby Riot. So they had honestly the best promo. If you're going to go back and watch anything, RN, watch the promo between Ruby Riot and Britt Baker. It will get you 100 times more hype for their match in New York. Nice. They went hard. Ruby Riot kind of tapped in a little bit of like AJ Lee shit. She dropped a line here. 1 second. She essentially said that she dealt with a lot of people in WWE that are like Britt Baker, and it was something like, no, not Dynamite, Rampage. It was something along the lines of entitled. She listed off 3 things, and it reminded me of whenever when Ronda Rousey called out the Bella Twins and said that Ronda Rousey was breaking down barriers or something, and while Nikki Bella was breaking down John Cena's door.
Right.
It kind of hit on that level. Let me see here. I think I've got it. So September 17th. Yeah, that's the one, right? I don't have to read a Rampage review from like a month ago, like I've been known to do.
Right. It was like, you've done it a couple times.
Here we go. It says right here, talking about she's entitled, self-centered, and she's like you're like a lot of the women I dealt with in WWE. You're entitled, self-centered, and sleeping with a guy in the back. Yeah, which was dope. Brit brought the fire too. She said some stuff like Soho has to constantly reinvent herself, and that Soho calls herself the runaway. When she didn't run away, she got fired. And that was a good burn. No, I mean they dug in on each other, and it was just great. There was some criticism that Soho sounded too WWE or something. I didn't.
Oh, you mean the company she's been in for like the past 4 or 5 years?
I'm not sure what they really meant. I had no issues, but I did see a couple people giving Soho shit for her promo, and I don't know. Apparently because Adam Cole got caught in the misfire or in the crossfire, I'm assuming, right. And people just really like Adam Cole. So,
well, my thing is like too, like we have to understand they've been the only game in fucking town for 21 years. Of course, she's gonna sound WWE is. She's been doing it for what, 4 or 5 years now. She's been in the WWE.
Dude, she was with him for like 5 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck do you expect? Like that, I just like of all the things with AEW fans and the fucking idiots that love AEW, like those type of things like make no fucking sense to me. Like, bro, where else are you gonna get people from? Where else are these people? Why would she not sound like WWE when she's been in WWE for the last 5 years and this is her first time on the mic at her new job?
Right. No, I mean, like I said, I didn't have an issue with it. I thought it was good shit between the two. I thought it was a fantastic promo. Starting next week, and Bama's in the chat. I like this that Bama's in the chat so he can hear me directly. We're gonna work with Bama. Well, not work necessarily with him, but like kind of like just steal one of his things. Since we do recap the week, starting next week, we're gonna go ahead and introduce our match of the week and promo of the week.
I'm with it.
You know, just to kind of add a little bit more flavor to this. Bama likes to do it whenever he does his shows too, as a good talking point. I feel like it really fits ours since we cover the whole week. We need to award those couple things, and then we'll award like the dud of the week as well, and shit like that. But when I saw this promo, that was the first thing that crossed my mind. I put it out on Twitter. I was like, that's a Bammer Slammer promo of the week right there. It blew me away. I loved it.
Just make sure you remind me on that so I can write it down.
Yeah, no problem. Lastly, Miro beat Fuego. Bama says, yeah, go ahead, take it. Love you, Bama. Miro beat Fuego in a fantastic match that really resembled a lot of the aura that Razor and Ramon and the 1-2-3 Kid had.
Yeah.
Really felt Fuego was like just that underdog who could never win, but you feel like at some point will get his victory. However, after Miro did defeat him, he took the keys because Fuego's car was on the line, by the way. So Fuego not only caught an ass whooping from Miro, but he's got an ass whooping from his wife coming too. Took the keys, shoved it down Fuego's throat, put him in the game over. Out came Sammy Guevara to back him up. Sammy ran off Miro and held up that TNT title. That looks like the next feud. That's actually a pretty good one right there.
I'm into that. He's gonna fucking toss Sammy the fuck around, boy.
Yeah. No, I mean that was it. I know we missed some stuff. Like I know we didn't talk about we didn't talk about Cody Rhodes coming back and Rosario Dawson jumping on Aleister Black or Malachi Black, excuse me. But like we don't have to talk about it. We talked. I think you and I covered this week pretty well.
Right. We don't have to keep going back and explain this. We cover the shit that caught our eye, good or bad.
Yeah.
And if you pay attention to anything that I post on Twitter about Cody Rhodes, fuck Cody Rhodes. You don't catch my eyes. So.
All right, man. Well, you guys, man, thank you all for joining us once again. Before we go, just like to say, the whole subscribe on YouTube and following us on Twitch is fantastic. Please consider supporting us on patreon.com/SmackDrawPodcast. And of course, paypal.me/SmackDrawPod if you're not into that subscription. You can find us on Twitter, myself at The Kai Tai Show, RN at Mr8984. And of course, the show's handle at SmackDrawPod. All of that fun stuff. We appreciate the hell out of you guys tuning into us each week. But really, yeah, that's it, man. I think that's it.
Yeah, go watch the hashtag MuteRN segments. We got 2 of them. We got some more coming your way. Definitely, and start hit me up with some suggestions. What you want to see me rant about for sure.
Yes. Tag RN in these rants, man. They're turning into a lot of fun. One of my favorite projects that we're doing at the moment. But until next time, like always, you guys, y'all have a good one.
See you next week.